Goldfield, a semi-ghost town located halfway between Reno and Las Vegas. We'll learn about its fascinating history in this upcoming episode brought to you by Ghost Town Wonders.
Good morning. Today we're going to make a trip up to Goldfield, Nevada. It's about 180 miles north and west of Las Vegas. It's on the main highway between Las Vegas and Reno. It's got about 300 permanent residences today, but at one time it was as many as 20,000 back in the early 1900s. It was founded in like 1903. It's got a lot of old buildings left to go explore, and that's what we're going to go do today. I got my coffee for the road trip. Let's go do some exploring. If you're like most people that make the drive between Las Vegas and Reno, you pass through Goldfield, just another place on the way to there. Stick with me on this one, guys. So it's for the first time. I've been through there dozens and dozens of times. I finally stopped and did some exploration. You'll find out that it was the world's greatest gold camp in the early 1900s. It's got a beautiful and fascinating history. Stick with me on this one and you'll learn more about Goldfield.
Before there was a Goldfield, there was Tonopah, located about 26 miles north. In May of 1900, Jim Butler discovered a high grade of silver deposit in Tonopah. Tonopah quickly became full of prospectors, many leasing ground from Jim Butler, which was a new practice in mining that Jim had started. In the early days of Tonopah in 1902, a Paiute Indian by the name of Thomas Fisherman was showing specimens which they referred to picture rock. Fisherman received a $10 grub stake from Jim Butler and a gentleman by the name of Tom Kendall, and was told to locate a claim where the rock was found. Tom immediately got drunk, and the only information they could gather from him was the rock was found about 30 miles to the south. Later on, after giving up on trying to find the location based upon what Tom Fisherman was saying, Kendall and Butler grub-staked two young men to locate the place where they had found the gold specimen. Their names were Harry Stemler and William Marsh. Both were native Nevadans from Belmont, Nevada. On December 4th of 1902, Stemler and Marsh located 3 claims on the north ridge of Columbia Mountain in Goldfield. On October 20th of 1903, a group of 36 prospectors and investors organized a meeting to establish the townsite of Goldfield. This is where the source of water begins for Goldfield. This is where the first tent city was located. It's called Rabbit Springs. I saw this spring on a map somewhere, and it was called Rabbit Spring, way at the south end of Goldfield, and I believe that this may have been one of the original water sources, and I know it's been recently tapped to help subsidize the water during its severe drought conditions that they've had here in Goldfield for the last several years. Kind of a strange little place. It looks like it's been here for quite some time. That looks like it may have been some kind of pump house. You can see some of the waterworks. It even has running water. Pretty cool. I'm not going to taste it because I'm not sure it's suitable to drink. There's so much to see and learn out here in Goldfield. I'm going to start at the south end of the valley and just kind of work my way up to the north. I only budgeted one day to come out here and explore this area, but there's so much out here to see that I'm definitely going to have to spend more than one day. So follow along. Let's go exploring. What is the significance of the intersection at Euclid and Lida? Well, St. Mary's County Hospital site was built there in 1905. It is well known as the place where Virgil Earp passed away in October of 1905. It is storied as he lays in his deathbed. He asks his wife to hold his hand and light a cigar. What you see here in the forefront of that photo is what was the Goldfield greenhouse site building built in 1905. It was a large complex of buildings on Floral Road that supplied Goldfield's restaurants and hotels with vegetables and flowers. It burned along with the nearby homes about 1911. This is a photo taken in 1908 of the Goldfield Brewery. It was built in 1904. The brewery stayed open until 1908 and then was destroyed in the flood of September of 1913. Trees were planted along with benches and tables. It was a real German beer garden. These are the ruins of the brewery and what it looks like today. Max Stein and Mr. Stanley came from Reno down to Goldfield to build this brewery. They quarried the stones right from the canyon behind here. This was the first jailhouse in Goldfield. It was built in 1905 and it was used until the current courthouse was built and finished in 1908. This is a stone row house built in 1907. It is one of only 2 red light district homes left in town. This is the Holt House, built in 1904. This was the original meeting place of the prestigious Montezuma Club. You will hear me later in this video make reference to the Montezuma Club. This is what the house looks like today. The Goldfield Hotel was built in 1907, was designed by some architects in Reno, Nevada. It's one of the most prominent buildings in all of Goldfield. It operated until 1940. This was the original Hotel Goldfield. It was built before 1906 and was for a short period of time. It got burned in 1907. Here's a few historical photos of the hotel under construction in 1907. Directly south of the Goldfield Hotel is the office building of the Goldfield Mining Company. It was built in 1908. The Goldfield Mining Company was the only large producing mine that did not get absorbed. And directly across the street from the Goldfield Hotel is the Brown Parker Garage, one of the first Ford dealerships in Nevada. The building burned in 1923 fire, but was rebuilt and remained a garage until 1989. Here's a few other garages that were built around 1930. This is known as Dahlstrom's Garage. He provided auto repair for decades and was well known for his quality rebuilt engines. This place was known as Beats Garage. When I checked it out, there were some really great looking automobiles in and around this building. This is a photo of the Esmeralda County Courthouse soon after it was built in 1907, when the county seat transferred to Goldfield from Hawthorne, Nevada. The building is occupied today and still serves as the county seat. This is a photo of the First Methodist Episcopal Church. It was built in 1912. It's currently being used as a community center in Goldfield. Goldfield Fire Station number 1, built in 1907, served as the town's firehouse until June of 2002. And here's some random photos of the fire engine that was sitting outside. I didn't see anything as far as nameplates go for the model and make. This is a photo of the Sundog Elementary School, which was built in 1908. It's one of the 4 stone schools built in Goldfield. The Sundog School was dismantled and the stones used to build the stone fence around the state highway maintenance yard in Tonopah. There's no evidence of this building, which was once located on the southwest corner of Sundog Avenue and Elliott Avenue. Sundog is the main Highway 95 coming from the south into Goldfield. This was referred to as the West Crook Street School. It was also built in 1908. Today it serves as the Goldfield's public library. The Goldfield High School was first announced in the Goldfield Daily Tribune on December 8th of 1906. The cornerstone was laid August 4th, 1907, marking the beginning of the construction. The building was completed in November of 1907. It was used continuously until 1947. The Goldfield Historical Society has undertaken the stabilization and restoration of this building. They've been able to do that through generous contributions and donations. If you're interested in participating or making any donations, please go to their website. Both of these buildings were built in 1907, and both of the buildings were in part built by a very influential man at the time, George Wingfield. The building closest to us on the corner was known as the Goldfield Consolidated Mines Building and built in 1907 by Senator George Nixon and George Wingfield. The building right next to it was known as the Ish Curtis Registration Trust Company Building, also built in 1907 by Lorne Curtis and Marvin Ish. The Consolidated Mines Building was later purchased by the John S. Cook and Company bankers, and he moved his bank to the main floor until 1932, when all of his banks in Nevada closed. Subsequently, the Tonopah and Goldfield Railroad Company purchased the building in 1932, and they occupied that building until 1947. You can see these same 2 buildings there on the left. It's a photo from 1908. This is a similar photograph of a very busy time. This is standing at the intersection of Ramsey Avenue, looking south down Columbia Street. This area was hit particularly hard by the 1923 fire. 2 of the significant buildings are no longer there today. One is the Goldfield News Building, and the other is the Montezuma Club. And all the buildings pictured on the opposite side of the street were burned down in 1923. Here's a photo of the Goldfield Hotel under construction and also the Goldfield News Building sometime before 1906. This is the Goldfield News Building as it was completed. Here's a wonderful and beautiful view of virtually the entire downtown area. The photo was taken in 1909. I suspect it was taken perhaps from the fourth floor of the First National Bank. And what leads me to believe this is directly across the street was the Nixon block. And very unfortunately, most of these buildings are gone today, again due to the 1923 devastating fire. Notice the reference to the greatest gold camp in the world. This is a photo of the boom days in Goldfield, taken around 1906. This is looking north down Main Street, just south of Crook Avenue, which is today's main highway that goes through Goldfield. Another beautiful and stunning building that was built in 1907, the First National Bank building. It now lies in ruins, again due to the 1923 fire. This photograph is an overview of the devastation that the fire caused. It looks like these photos were taken from the Goldfield Hotel, looking to the north and west. Let's go compare what is there today.
This is the ruins of First National Bank. It was the first four-story building in the city of Goldfield. Built in 1907, was destroyed by the fire in 1923, like so many others in this immediate block. This is the entry in the archway to the sideboard saloon built in 1907. It was a single-story wood frame building behind this arch. The only thing that's left is the arch. Let's go take a walk through it and see what's happening. You can see the tile, some of it's still there. And that was quite an entry into a wood frame building.
It's been hard for me to come up with any historical photos of the sidebar saloon. This is one that I found. You can see it relatively clear. As I had mentioned before, it was a single-story wooden structure behind the stone arch. This is the Santa Fe Saloon, located clear on the other side of town. It was built in 1905 by Hubert Maxgut. The Santa Fe is the oldest continuously operating business in Goldfield. Maxgut was killed in a gunfight in 1912. But the subsequent owners kept the saloon open. It was located outside of the business district to be closer to the mines. Because of its location, it survived the flash flood of 1916 and the Great Fire of 1923 that destroyed most of the Goldfield. Right across the street from the Santa Fe Saloon, we're at the Bullfrog Goldfield Freight Depot and Repair Yard. Let's go wander around.
Those two boxcars behind me are known as the Hicks boxcars, built in 1905. They're the only two surviving boxcars. They were once used on the Tonopah and Goldfield Railroad.
These boxcars, built by Hicks Locomotive and Car Works from Chicago, USA, built in 1905. This is the building in the machine shop that was used by the Bullfrog Goldfield Railroad Company.
Wow, Goldfield. What a beautiful place that really is. As I had said earlier, I have passed through there dozens of times over the last several years and never stopped to make an attempt to do any exploration. There is so much fascinating history there. I'm going to have to make at least a few more videos. One that covers the railroads and the other that covers the mining that went on there. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it.